From the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS2 News at 5 p.m.
A school shut down by threats from a senior citizen, a man who describes himself as a doctor and a veteran with a knowledge of explosives that he might be willing to use.
Those threats posted on Facebook apparently have to do with the death of the man's son over 20 years ago. And
CBS 2's Greg Mills is live in Oak Park at the school that was targeted. Greg.
And Peter and Pat, first of all, the son died just this past June 1st. The incident that really seemed to rile this man up, this 74-year-old man, happened back in the mid-1990s here at Oak Park High School. Now, I spoke with the son's ex-wife just a few minutes ago. She thinks, sadly, that the dad is just really having a hard time with the death and just really kind of is looking for an excuse or somebody to blame for the death of his son on June 1st. A threatening post on Facebook by a man who blames Oak Park High School staff for the death of his son. The threat was taken very seriously, and that man, 74-year-old Morton Green, was arrested and is facing charges of criminal threats. July 8th, on his Facebook page, someone asked me what I plan to do for those responsible for my son's death. The anger I have and my knowledge of explosives and shooting gives me so many options. They took his life away. Now it is time to see if they still think it was funny abusing my son. No one knows the anger and pain I suffer now and then. This is his son, Robert. Robert's ex-wife, Jenny Hahn, told me that Robert was killed in an accident, and he was very involved in their children's lives. He leaves behind 2 children. Green posted this on June 2nd. My youngest son was found dead yesterday. Since that time, he has posted almost daily on Facebook many long posts about politics and about his son and his anger with the staff at this high school. What prompted this? Go back 23 years. This LA Times article speaks of a lawsuit filed on behalf of then 14-year-old Robert Green, claiming he was harassed and ridiculed by football coaches because his hair was not short enough. Lucky Kellner filed that suit. I called Kellner and Kellner today, but got no response. Because of the threat on Facebook, Oak Park canceled summer activities here on Wednesday.
My wife got an email saying that school and camp over in Oak Park was closed due to a threat of some kind.
And yesterday, those activities resumed. As for Green, the Ventura County Sheriff's Department and Las Vegas police officers arrested him in Laughlin, Nevada. He is awaiting extradition. Bail is set at $100,000. Jenny Hahn also told me that she and her husband really hadn't talked to Morton Green in a long, long time, and that her husband never discussed any problems here at Oak Park High School. She said she knew he went here, and that also that his sister graduated from here. So a pretty long and involved story, but again, a deep-seated problem going back to 1995. Pat and Peter, back to you two.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg Mills. A suspected drunk driver sped out of control and plowed into a crowd outside a bar in Downey. Security video shows the car speeding. Shortly after that, the driver lost control. He ran down 4 people. 3 of them were critically injured. There was a crowd because nearby bars had just closed. Witnesses say he was showing off.
He revved the engine up just to show off the engine in front of everybody in front of the club, driving lightning fast. Then he made a turn on this street going this direction. And then a second later, boom, we heard the crash.
It was terrible. And the girl was underneath the car.
Bystanders held the driver down until deputies arrived and arrested him. All 4 of the injured people are expected to be okay.
Well, turning now to the weather, from extreme heat to mudslides, it has certainly been a wild week here in Southern California.
Look at that shot. Let's turn to CBS 2's Garth Kemp, who has a look at the forecast as we head into the weekend. Garth, where was that shot from? The fair?
Yeah, that was down by the pier, and if you make a right at the base there,
yeah,
that's where for years you can still get those crazy hot dogs on a stick and a lemonade.
Yum.
Not sure what's in them, but I've been eating them since I've been a kid. I'm still here. They preserve you well, but have fun. It's nice out there. 79 degrees right now. Sometimes I'll ride I cycle, and I'll cycle over that area, and I just sit there and watch people go there, and I shake my head like, don't do it. and then when the line shortens, I go get my own. West winds right now at 6, humidity 58%. We're about flush to where we were yesterday, a little warmer though out towards San Bernardino by about 4 degrees. So the high pressure area now building in over the area. That's helping us kill out some of this humidity. I'll explain it all to you. Your complete forecast for the weekend coming up in just a few. Back to you guys.
All right, Gar, thanks. A Garden Grove man surprised 2 burglars who broke into his home this morning. The pair broke a sliding glass door around 11:15, and they didn't realize the homeowner was inside and had a gun. The victim first called 911, and then he confronted the burglars. They ran off after he fired 2 or 3 shots at them, and the homeowner tells us the pair jumped over a back fence and then got into a waiting car. Police don't know if the burglars were hit, and they're checking out hospitals for gunshot victims.
Well, a dozen Russian intelligence officers have been indicted by the U.S. for hacking into the Democratic Party's computers during the 2016 presidential campaign.
Yeah, CBS2 political reporter Dave Bryan is here now to talk about the latest charges from special counsel Robert Mueller.
Yeah, and these charges, I think, send a strong message about this investigation. It is not going away despite the attacks. The timing of the indictments is interesting. It's 3 days before President Trump is set to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Finland. And that has several Democratic lawmakers demanding Mr. Trump call it off. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein announcing charges against a dozen Russian military intelligence officers for allegedly interfering with the 2016 presidential election. The indictment spells out a cyber attack on the information security of Democrats, accusing the men of implanting malware and stealing information. They're also accused of taking that information and trying to influence voters' opinions.
First, they used a scheme known as spear phishing, which involves sending misleading email messages. Second, the defendants hacked into computer networks and installed malicious software that allowed them to spy on users.
Rosenstein says he briefed the president about the indictments earlier this week. While in England, Mr. Trump vowed to address the matter with Russian President Vladimir Putin when they meet in Helsinki, Finland on Monday.
I will absolutely bring that up. I don't think you'll have any, gee, I did it, you got me. There won't be a Perry Mason here.
But here's an interesting piece of information from the indictment. On or about July 27, 2016, the conspirators allegedly attempted after hours to spearfish for the first time email accounts at a domain hosted by a third-party provider and used by Clinton's personal office. At or around the same time, they also targeted 76 email addresses at the domain for the Clinton campaign. What else happened on July 27, 2016? Well, Mr. Trump said this.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
Some Democrats say the president should not meet with Putin alone.
Going forward, there should be no one-on-one meeting between this president and Mr. Putin. There needs to be other Americans in the room.
And some other Democrats went even further, like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. He called for Monday's Trump-Putin summit to be called off entirely. But the White House says it's still on. Peter, back to you.
All right, Dave, thanks. Tens of thousands packed a London square chanting Donald Trump has got to go, just hours before he and the First Lady left England. And they also blared trumpets criticizing Mr. Trump's first visit to the UK as president. The first couple was nowhere near the protests. They had tea with Queen Elizabeth at Windsor Castle. And before that, Mr. Trump tried to explain his criticism of British Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit plan in an interview with the British tabloid The Sun. The president said it might jeopardize the U.S.'s trade relationship with the UK. Today, he said this.
The only thing I ask is that she work it out so that we can have very even trade, because we do not have a fair deal with the European Union right now on trade.
The first couple is now in Glasgow, Scotland for a private weekend where the president is expected to play golf at his resort. Coverage of today's political news continues at 6:30 on the CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor.
Well, Dodgers second baseman Chase Utley is calling it a career.
The six-time All-Star announced the news earlier today at Dodger Stadium.
And CBS2 Sports Director Jim Hill is live from Chavez Ravine and has more on Utley's decision to hang up his cleats. Jim.
Pat, thank you very much. On a balmy day, this is absolutely incredible what Chase Utley has established in his career. And he will indeed retire after this current season. His 16th year in Major League Baseball and certainly going into the Hall of Fame. And after starring here at UCLA in college, Utley went on to star for the Philadelphia Phillies for the bulk of his career, helping him to win a World Series title in 2008. The 39-year-old's career came full circle in August of 2015. That's when he joined the Dodgers, where he's been a part-time player and a part-time coach. But it's being a part-time dad that caused him to realize now's the time.
I've been thinking about this for a little while now. I'm no spring chicken. I think I've got 15 or 16 years in the big leagues. The hair is going gray. There's a lot of things letting me know it's time. Obviously, the main reason is I just want to spend more time with my family.
What does it mean to you to have your teammates in here as you're announcing your retirement?
I was unaware that these guys were going to be in here. It means a lot to me. These guys are part of my family. We grind it out on the field together. So, guys, I appreciate you guys being here, supporting me. It does mean the world to me.
And Chase ended the press conference the same way he played in his magnificent career, with style, class, and a little bit of humor.
Guys, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. We have a meeting here in a few minutes, and in 15 years I haven't been late for a meeting. Today's not going to be the first day. See you guys.
And he didn't want to get fined either. The Dodgers are taking on the Angels, and of course we'll have more on that coming up for you on the CBS2 News at 6 o'clock. Back to you in the studio now.
All right, Jim. He certainly will be missed.
Yeah, class act.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, do the lines at the DMV seem longer than usual?
The reason behind the wait.
Plus, Harvey Weinstein comes clean, what the disgraced movie mogul admitted in a recent interview.
Also, a college student missing for days is found safe at a local hospital. Why no one knew he was there.
And it's opening day at the OC Fair. We will take you inside for the food and the fat.
Well, there will be fat there if you're eating all the fried foods.
I wasn't supposed to say that. The fun and the rides,